and we're out underwriting property. Right? We'll underwrite multifamily, and that's what we learned is that underwriting is like the best form of success. It allows you to find when you're talking to investors, you're not buying a lot on the beach, right? They're investing with you in a property. So they want to bring up what they're investing in. That underwriting is that this is part of it. And being able to explain those designs, that's what we pulled the instrument. And then I started buying the larger deals. So my first deal was a $7.5 million deal on Utah in Texas. And from there on, I've been just buying. I bought $75 million of properties.
So welcome to another episode of the Israel Miller Podcast. I'm here with Hans Seelinger. He's a multifamily expert in the multifamily realm of investing. We're actually at one of the subs meetups hosted by Julie and Yana. They got Hans on stage as the guest speaker tonight, man. So I just asked him to step aside. Hans, I can start off by telling the audience a little bit about exactly what it is that.
Of course, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you. Sure. Love what you're doing, man.
Right.
So basically, we all start as new, man. There's no way of how you start from the top. We all start from scratch. Actually, originally from South America, moved here in 2013. Situation in my country got a little bit tough, right? I had to do whatever I had to do to put on the table. I delivered balloons. I did whatever I had to do. But I always had that thing in my mind, like, how is it that certain people can have thousands of units, right, and never run out of money? And how is it that they can invest in real estate and always stay on top of the game? Because I started investing in right? Bought a couple of condos, and that's it. Run out of money. All right. So how do I get to the next step? I tried wholesale a little bit, and basically in 2021, I transitioned into multifamily. And the reality is, it was just for me a magical thing to learn how to add value. What I learned about real estate investing in general is it's not about what you take, it's about how can you give others as well, right? And I read this book, I think some people have heard about that book, and he was saying about you need money to make money, and I said, yeah, man, that's easy for you to say. You got a lot of it, but he would make the concept of how can you actually give something of value so that people who can invest together alongside with you. That's when I understood if I'm able to find a deal, to put a deal together that actually that can actually bring some money to other people. If I can bring that to them, they will like invest alongside with me. So in order to get there, of course, I took some education and we're out on the right property. Underwrite multifamily, and that's what we learned is that underwriting is like the best form of success. It allows you to find when you're talking to investors, you're not buying a lot on the beach, right? They're investing with you in a property. So they want to bring up what they're investing in. That underwriting is that this is part of it. Being able to explain those designs, that's what we pulled the instrument. And then I started buying the larger deals. My first deal was a $7.5 million deal on Utah in Texas. And from there on, I've been just buying. I bought $75 million of properties.
That's crazy. So you went from buying skill sets that in it. So how, like, let's all talk about.
I believe the underwriting is the backbone of the business because underwriting is not just numbers. And one of the things that one of my mentors told me said you're not going to get paid for the time to put into it. You get paid for the value. What's the value you can bring? Said, to bring in your money, bring you have your money to invest. What is it that you need? So, well, it's just like it's like. Let me give you an example. The CEO had gone. Next time, it's all here. Next time with the burger, that quick of understanding where the business is going. When it's able to pick up business and have a strategy, increase the income, and then let's see, go and execute. That's why it's so valuable. That's the value that we have. And this has to remind us that, you know what, Hans? If you're able to find the people, you understand for there, right? Reanalyze it to the and analyze those numbers, those financials. You're buying a building, you're not buying just real estate. Buying this to increase the income, increase the value. You're able to come up with the fact, increase that value. That puts you in a position where you're adding a ton of value to someone who can work with you. Then, if you're able to find that, just partner with someone that has the experience that can help you get a loan or help with that, and you'll help find it. And strategically, you start putting the pieces together. So, see, you're like on this virtual conference table, consulting with this, and you're consulting with the lender, and with the insurance. You partner with a high net worth individual who can help you. That's the experience, right? Find a business and have someone that knows what he's doing, right? Absolutely. So that's how I started creating that partnership. That's what it ended up. So you're able to buy this multi-million-dollar deal, not bringing in the money, but bringing in your brain. And I believe that, and that is what underwriting is all about, is learning how to find that opportunity and creating that business.
So, yeah, Mike, the way I would phrase that, you're not looking at what it is today. You're looking at it when it could become. You're paying this next person so they can buy it.
Absolutely.
Wow, like that's like a whole business in itself. When it's explained to you, you can take underwriting, this one skill set of underwriting, and develop a whole business model just by underwriting. Absolutely. So once you underwrite something, what's the next step of it? Find a deal, you do our market, I saw rain, underwrite it. All right, now we look at a piece of property and say, okay, this thing has potential for 5, 6. That's why I go out and it's funny to think.
Well, basically, if the deal's good, the money will come. You need to, I think, work really understand. I think it all comes down to, of course, going to events, networking with people. You got to put yourself out there. Use social media. I mean, let people know what you're doing. Let them know, hey, I'm investing in this. I'm looking for this type of thing. You investing in something like that. Start testing the waters with the people that you know, because those are the ones who are going to most likely start investing with you. The people that already know, I know this event here, up to event. Here's people who are you're actually looking to invest in Pioneer. Maybe I want to invest in this. So this networking is how you actually start gaining traction. But at the end of the day, that's what it's what's make the deciding factor. The next one is getting involved. You have to have a clear exit strategy. I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people are making is find the deal because it's a good deal. Oh, I love the deal because of the location, and they just look fast because they want to buy it. Or maybe they always come to the deal. Or the seller is agreeing to sell the property if they're going to finance it. That'd be a strategy. Look, it's a year. I think I study. If we do A, B, and C, we can take renting to this level. And if we take it to that level, we're going to take this amount of money to get there, but in this amount of time, we will exit. This is going to be a transfer that I have. This if you're saying, this, that's all it has to well. Not just enough to have an address. Hey, what's going to make some deal? Look at the picture. But you're not going to live there. Your business is not going to be. It's not a condo on the beach. That's not going to be enough.
So, guys, the summary is like, it's super easy to get into something, but it's even more important on how we want to get out of it. Like that's the more important. Is like how we want to make the money on it, how we want to increase the value of it, and how can we exit from it. And you don't need one, but you need multiple ways. So anytime I first look at something, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3 ways. Like if something else, if this plan goes wrong, you got a fallback. Let's go. So a person like me, I'm fairly. I've been that's. So a skill I don't have to learn it. Yeah. I know there's levels to this game. There's levels to this plan right now. So how does a person get from that easy level? Like you said, you started around. Like what was that thing that happened in your mind that said, all right, it's time for me to level?
It has a lot to do with the process. You can see people making it, and then you go and you see a social media. Right? You see people like, oh, I made this, I made that. Sometimes you feel like that's following for you, right? For me, I remember one of the biggest fears I had is like, I went so cool. But a multi-million-dollar deal, I'm zero experience. Right? So I felt like a nobody. Right? So that was one of the things that I had to overcome. But then as you start putting the right stuff in your mind, right? You start hitting the right house, right? You start feeling things like people, normal people like you and I, right? That don't come from a wealthy family that has everything so desired that we came from nothing and we create something. There is a lot of free education out there, and I encourage everyone to start there, right? But then it comes to a point where you need to think of the issue. Are you going to take this serious or not? Are you willing to make the first investment? Right? I want someone else to invest in you. You have to be the first one and willing to invest in yourself. That's when you have to start investing in yourself. I started investing. So I attended a seminar. Then I went to courses to learn how to build how does business actually work? By going into those places, I got the knowledge. Most importantly, and that's what you can then take it, right? Because you get the theory, then it comes to a point where you get a momentum and get someone that's actually doing the business, seeing the business. You tell you, don't go here, go there. So you gotta be willing to invest in yourself. That's pricey. So how much do you think you can take over a year to the game? So, yeah. On my education, oh man, yeah. I don't know. I don't have an account completely in my head because I don't want. I'm gonna take it. I can tell you that the highest return on investment, any investment I've done, is through my brain. It's been way over $80,000. But you don't have to spend $80,000 to get out. Service. I did that because I didn't know where to invest. I didn't know I was so hungry that I should live. But now, when I in hindsight, when you find someone who's actually doing what you want to do, right, ask them who can teach you, right, and find someone who's actually in it. So you don't have to. In my case, I have to work. What is it that I want to do? Right? Is it going to be boxing? Is it going to be trading? At point, I invested in right? Or is it going to be residential? Or is it going to be subject? Or is it going to be multifamily or retail? So there's so many games in those streets. But this is not one habit. There's so many. So client one, gonna be the biggest mistake that I made was I was like a butterfly. I was like trying this a little bit, that a little bit, that a little bit. That's why it's got so much money. But then when you find your game, go deep. I case what multi-bank. I love the fact that cash flow lane. I like the fact that multifamily you have a lot of control about the acquisition, right? Because in the business, not by cost, it's the business, right? So if you increase the income, you increase the value, right? So if you have 100 units, you put $50 extra rent, $5,000, $60 a year, that's $1 million extra value to the project. Nothing can give you that leverage to actually increase the value. That's why I love multifamily. Man, so guys, listen. I gotta get a specialized knowledge. Like it's not about the knowledge, but having a specialized knowledge and just mastering whatever it is that you decide anywhere. Now, that's more than no. So listen, if someone wants to actually learn about multifamily and how to learn how to underwrite, you can hook up any strategy session with me. I'd love to have a one conversation, understand what are your goals, see what I have to offer. Also, possible your destination. You have to. It's called underwriting squared, and we help the investors fast forward to get it on the underwriting. Guys, again, that's a business that 100,000. It's a skill set that's being learned, and everyone needs to master in this area. Thinking about so let's say I got $1,000 retirement scale. Like how can that be a value? Wow, that's actually one of the best strategies to actually maximize the returns on those type of accounts as invested community. Most people don't realize that if you have a 401k or if you have a Roth IRA or if you have a self-directed IRA that you can invest in real estate. especially if you're investing in a syndication, you're becoming basically a real estate investor without becoming a landlord. So what's nice about that, basically, you can bring cash or you bring money that you have in your savings account or you got any of your 401k or self-directed IRAs. This is money you can come to work for you. You keep doing whatever you're good at, produce more money. This money, instead of being there growing at 5%, 6%, you invest it in a education where that's like rational. You have economies of scale. If you invest in 100 unit property, if 1/10 of these, it's like 1% of these. If you have a single family house, 1/10 of these, you are not 100% of these. On the economies of scale, it allows you to actually take advantage of better deals. Because of the forced appreciation that I talked about multifamily, it will be able to control the increase of the value of property. The typical return for someone, and again, these are typical returns. Tax returns do not guarantee future returns, right? But in general, right is to double their money. That's the goal. So anywhere between 18 and 20% average annual return, that's what we're talking about. Right. So at least 0.5% that my bank is giving, I can turn around and give that to you like somewhere in around 18, 20. Oh man, money in the bank is losing value, especially under an inflation. And you know what? This is not me talking. What is the vehicle now the wealthy have used for thousands of years to create wealth? It's real estate. This is not a trend. Like, it's a new thing, real estate. This has been there for thousands of years, and everybody's going to need always a place to stay. This business is not going anywhere. That's a business. And you know what? What's fun? I always hear this. Like, 10 years ago was the best time to invest in real estate. 10 years from now, people are going to say, 10 years ago, that was the best time to get into real estate. It's always the best time to get into real estate. Always. Best time was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. It's right now. Listen, I gotta go get us. So I'm on Facebook. My name is Hans Seelinger. There's only one there on Facebook. You can find me. You can write me an email at info@uw2win.com. Info@uw2win. Underwriting2win.com. That's where it is. Man, listen, guys. Get in contact with them. I'm about to go listen to him speak. And I got my pen and pad ready. I'm excited. And I look forward to taking you Israel. Thank you. Looking forward to your success, man. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. All right, I appreciate you. Looking forward to your success.